All right, NBA 2K rating recap for February 8th, 2026. What was Super Bowl Sunday? Only 4 games to break down because of that. Starting off in New York, they moved to 33-19 with a 101-89 win over the Boston Celtics, ending the Celtics' 5-game winning streak. Jalen Brunson, 31 points, 8 assists. Jose Alvarado made his debut, 12 points, 25 minutes. Played next to Jalen Brunson at times, similar to Deuce McBride, so I did add a secondary position for Alvarado. Josh Hart had 19, Bridges 14. OG missed this one, so Landry Shamet got the start. He had 3 points, but most of the meaningful minutes were taken by Mo Diawara, who had 10 points, was 4-4 from the field, including 2 for 2 from 3. Played 27 minutes off the bench, was essentially their Jaylen Brown stopper in this one, so did a good job filling in for OG. Let's see if he's able to carve out a more sustainable place in the rotation, or if the Knicks pick up a wing on the buyout market. I've speculated Haywood Highsmith. Cat, for what it's worth, still not having a great year, 11 points and 10 rebounds. Boston Celtics, they dropped to 34-18 with the loss. They are Jaylen Brown had 26 points. Derek White had 19, of course, at their new positions. Sam Hauser was out, so Baylor Shireman got the start for him. Shireman, 10 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists. Really good rebounder for a wing, or for a shooting guard, I should say. Luka Garza continues to start, but more or less getting the Keith Bogans in each game. Only 15 minutes for him, 6 points. Nikola Vucevic, 11 points in 23 minutes, but they did get killed with him on the court, so take that for what it's worth. You know, Vuce, not the greatest defensive player, and he's yet to really. The Celtics want him to be more aggressive offensively, looking for his shot, which they need him to be on that second unit. If you know, I mean, they're always going to be a bad defensive team with him out there, so he just needs to really focus on getting his on the offensive end when he's out there. Miami, they moved to 28-26 on the year, 132 to 101, 31-point blowout over the Wizards. Bam with 22, Norm Powell with 21, Myron Gardner, 10, 7, and 6 for him. Got another start with Pele Larson out for this one. I definitely need to get a rating in for him. Also a tendency update. If you haven't seen those yet, check those out. They're pretty silly. Kalel Ware, because it was a 30-point blowout to the Wizards, he got some extended run. 19 and 14 in 30 minutes. And Yagachonis, 22 points and 6 assists in 26 minutes for him. So the kids got a little bit of run against the Wizards, who did not hold out their kids in this one. Sar, Koulibaly, and Keyshawn George all played in this game. Worth noting that Dante Exum was waived. He is out for the year, of course, acquired in the trade for Anthony Davis. D'Angelo Russell, also, it's come out that he won't report to the team. He has a player option for next year, so is he going to give that up, similar to Yabusele, just to get off the Wizards? We'll see. I was not expecting that to come about, because normally players on expiring contracts are the buyout candidates. So let's see how much money the Wizards, the Wizards and Russell are willing to eat here. I imagine he's not going to give up the entire player option, or maybe he does, and they just eat his full salary for this year in exchange. Doesn't really matter in the grand scheme. Vooch led the way with 14 points off the bench. Bob George and Champagny had 13. Sarr and Watkins had 12. So it was a nice team effort in the 30-point blowout. Toronto, they've had good team efforts all year long. They got a win over the Pacers, 122 to 104. They're now 32-22 on the year. I believe that they're jockeying with Cleveland for 4th and 5th in the Eastern Conference. Scotty Barnes led the way, 25, 14, and 6. R.J. Barrett with 20 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists as well in this one. Trace Jackson Davis made his debut off the bench, doubled, 10 and 10, had 8 offensive rebounds in 16 minutes. So definitely something that they've been missing off the bench this year. Calamar Boyles, only 8 minutes for him, sprained his thumb. So Jackson Davis might be thrust into a much larger role sooner than anticipated. Indiana, I don't really have many notes for them. Siakam led the way with 18 points, 13 of 40. The Pacers dropped to in the tanking Olympics. Zoo yet to make his debut for the team. Andrew Nembhard was 4 of 18. TJ McConnell was 5 for 5. Let's just go on to the Clippers, who made the Zoo trade. They are going to continue to remain competitive for the rest of the year as they don't have their draft pick. They moved to 25 and 27, beating the Wolves once again, 115 to 96. Kawhi led the way with 41 points. He's having an MVP caliber season. To be quite honest, it just sucks that they got off to such a shitty start to the year. Yannick Konan-Niederhauser, 15 points, 6 rebounds, 5 of 5 from the field, but he fouled out in 17 minutes. I've posited that he's going to have a big second half, might even be ahead of Isaiah Jackson in the rotation moving forward. I don't think Jackson's made his debut yet. Benedict Mathurin has not. I know that. He's not going to play until Tuesday. I expect that he'll start over Derrick Jones Jr. He's been the starting 2 since returning from injury. If not out of the gate, then at some point, as that is their natural positions. If Jones Jr. continues to start at the 2, I'll switch his position over, and I'll move Nick Batum over to the 4, Kobe Sanders to the 3, just to clear out some of the glut that occurs, or Mathurin over to the 3, one of those. Minnesota. They did not respond to Rudy Gobert's comments about effort. Got killed by 20 in this one. Edwards, 23 points. Ayo Dosunmu made his debut, had 11 points. I have Mike Conley deactivated right now because he's yet to officially re-sign with the Wolves. It's just kind of something that was reported on, but I think he's cleared waivers by now, but he may just be also looking around to see what's out there. Maybe there's another situation that he'd make sense on. Obviously, the Houston, they've needed a point guard all year, so maybe he jumps ship to them. But otherwise, I do expect that he would come back. They do need a third-string point guard now, considering Edwards is kind of masquerading as a 1 this year. It would be nice to have him during the playoffs, a steadier hand rather than like a Bones Highland necessarily come playoff time. Milwaukee. We're done with the game, so just cleaning up a little bit of league news before tomorrow. They land Cam Thomas on the buyout market. A little bit of overlap between him and Kevin Porter Jr. and Ryan Rollins in the backcourt, but I like it because they don't really have a bench scorer behind those guys either, and they've just been running small all year. Like AJ Green has been the starting. He's been starting at either the 2 or the 3 this year, so they definitely need a lot more talent from that perspective. Like Gary Harris has been a starting small forward for them, so their team shooting guard, and they add another shooting guard, but there aren't any small forwards who are actually available, or at least small forwards who are going to actually consider the Bucks in free agency. So Cam joins a team where he's going to have a role. Obviously, Joel Crawford had a lot of success playing for Doc Rivers earlier, 10 years ago in Doc's career. So I don't mind it. I did change his position to point guard just because of the way that the depth chart makes sense for Milwaukee. Kevin Porter Jr. has been starting at the 2, and I imagine that Thomas is going to be the primary ball handler on the second unit. So if it turns out that Thomas is starting and then they start bringing Kevin Porter off the bench again or Ryan Rollins, I will adjust the positions accordingly. But yeah, good get. Like Gary Trent Jr. has been awful this year, so just replacing his minutes with Cam Thomas is probably a win. We'll see. They just need something to hold down the fort until Giannis comes back, and also they just need young, cheap talent in the door anyway as they figure out what they're doing moving forward. Kevin Porter Jr., it's worth noting, does have a $5.4 million player option that he would surely opt out of as he's had a productive enough of a season. So who knows? They're probably looking at one of those two on the team moving forward. We'll see what happens in Milwaukee over the rest of the year. But yeah, good opportunity for Cam Thomas. Let's see if he can get the Bucks back into the play-in race. Pistons, They convert Donis Jenkins, who actually signed him to a 2-year, $8 million deal, $4 million each season. The $4 million he makes this year will set the record, highest ever for a two-way player. Well deserved. Worked his ass off over the last 2 years. They waived Dario Saric to make room for him. Saric's career likely over after having a pretty dismal last 2 years. And then in OKC, Jalen Williams making his return from injury, missed the past couple weeks with his wrist injury. And yeah, they desperately need him now with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander sidelined through the All-Star break. They did announce Shai's injury replacement for the All-Star game. It is going to be Alperen Sengun taking his place on the world team. So a lot of people felt that Sengun was snubbed. He's been pretty brutal over the last month offensively, but he's still in that tier of like all-star level of player. Rockets obviously are having a good year too, so good for him to make his second all-star team. And we're going to wrap it up. There are 10 games that we're going to be covering tomorrow for Monday. We've got Detroit against Charlotte. Detroit 38-13 against the Charlotte Hornets, who have won 9 in a row. So that should be an interesting one out of the gate. Chicago and Brooklyn, Utah and Miami, Milwaukee and Orlando. So I guess we'll see Cam Thomas's debut. Atlanta versus Minnie. Minnie has been slumping of late. So let's see if the Hawks can get a win as they try to move up in the play-in standings. Sacramento and New Orleans in the tanking Olympics. Pels don't have their pick, so I imagine the Kings will. They don't have an incentive to lose, so Sacramento probably hits their 13 consecutive loss. In that, Cleveland versus Denver should be a good one. James Harden would be playing a second game with the Cleveland Cavaliers and Jokic. Obviously, it's a pretty interesting matchup for them. Memphis and Golden State. Memphis is let go of the rope. Golden State still has something to play for, so they'll probably get the win. We're going to see Jalen Williams make his return against the Lakers in this one. Lakers have their full contingent healthy, so we'll see if they are able to move up in the standings. And then Philly versus Portland. Embiid versus the banged up Portland Trailblazers, who, as of press time, are still without Deni Avdija and probably Shaedon Sharpe. Wouldn't surprise me if Deni Avdija is out until right before the All-Star break, just so he gets a little bit of extra rest. But yeah, really interesting slate of games. Check it out tomorrow when I break them down. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.